Starting live. Alright, I think we're good. I hope we're both visible. Should I just turn it this way so that people know to...
Yeah. Power to the people.
Hey guys! My name's Siobhan, and I work with the Kingston Food Co-op. I'm the outreach coordinator. I'm here with the one and only Inno. This is the first day, this is day one or session one of our summer deep dive series. So we're basically taking a deep dive into the life and work of Inno. And yeah, I guess we'll just get started. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Inno. Just Inno.
Okay, cool. Inno,
Yeah.
tell us about Abundance Farms.
Abundance Farms. We feed BIPOC. You know, we cater to people who haven't been catered to as far as this whole system goes. I mean, yeah, I like to grow food, but I think it's also the community that's built around it, that support system that, like, we all, it's just so weird. Like, I've noticed, like, a few people that are on my CSA, like, we run into each other all the time, or we call each other for certain things, whether it just be to talk or help out. It's just building support, building community around food, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we just prioritize people who deserve it.
Amen. What inspired you to start growing food?
The inspiration behind it, I mean, I just fell in love with it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic hit, and like where I was working just wasn't safe, so I applied for a farm job, and it just came back, and I'm like, I should just do this for myself, you know.
Yeah.
And like, and not saying like nothing wrong with working on a farm, but it's also like farming, growing food is essential. And if we're not doing it in a way where more than just giving back, I guess, where it's not helping people,
Mm-hmm.
then why are we doing it?
Mm-hmm. Like,
So,
it's all about money.
yeah, all
it's
about
not
money
worth it.
and not really like quality or just, I don't know. I'd just rather do it from the heart versus trying to make money from it.
Yeah, so you've got a little bit of a different model, right, than most farms or most businesses, because you provide your CSAs for free.
Yes.
Why is it important for you to feed BIPOC folks for free? Like, I guess I want to know a little bit more about that inspiration. Like, how did you come up with the idea and then bring it to life? Like, how are you like, I want to do this, I want to feed my people for free. How am I going to do this? You know, about like that process.
Honestly, I think it was more or less like I worked on a farm for a white cis man, and like, I mean, I'm still learning every day, but this was my first like season back into like just getting connected to the land, so I'm trying to soak up all the knowledge I can, and just talking to this guy, and he's just like, look, like, if you want to be a full-time farmer, you can't focus on Black Lives Matter, you can't focus on going to the marches. And like, I'm just like, wait, what?
He was trying to shoot down your dreams.
Not necessarily shoot down my dreams. I think he was more or less trying to have more of a use for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically give my time to that farm versus actually what I want to give my time to.
Right.
And I just had to switch it up and be like, bro, you're wild. I mean, this is the movement. This is Black Lives Matter. Like, I'm not doing it because, like, I couldn't grow food for somebody else's dreams, you know, because it's just so far outside of mine. And I just like, you know, I'm gonna just do it, and I'm gonna grow food for my people.
I love that.
You know?
So before you kind of like took that leap and started doing your own thing with Abundance Farms, how long were you farming for?
Well, I started back in like 2014, and
It's been a minute.
yeah, but I mean, and that, like, from 2014 to like 2016, I was locked up. And so, like, that was my job out in the field. And fell in love with it. It was pretty dope. And I came home, but I came back home to Newburgh. So, like, there wasn't, I guess more or less I just fell back into old habits, you know? So I just took up jobs, doing BS, quit when I was ready, and just found another job, you know? But the pandemic really definitely gave me a little bit more, like, to just get back outside.
So this was kind of birthed out of the pandemic? Like, Abundance Farms came to life during the pandemic?
Definitely.
That is so cool. It's crazy because, like, you know, at that time, the world was just shook and everything felt like scarcity.
Right.
So for Abundance Farms to come out of life during the pandemic is like,
that is good.
That's so cool.
It really
Love
is.
that.
It's crazy though.
What have been some challenges that you've faced with this particular model, like free CSAs, free food for BIPOC? What are some challenges that you've had to overcome doing this?
Challenges. So I planted like I mean I guess it would, like even if I wouldn't just growing to give away food for free, like this is a faith game. So like if crops go bad or like one of the sites of abundance, I mean I don't know really what was happening, but like a month or two later, like I realized like there was no growth, like something was up, and that was a challenge because it's like how can I serve if I don't have any food?
Right.
So I had to go back in and just do it over. I mean, it's doing better now, a lot better. We actually harvested some cucumbers and squash here the other day.
Oh, wow, already.
Which is pretty dope. Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
like nothing I feel like super uncommon. I mean, there was one time where I was set up for CSA and this guy came up and he was just like, oh, like, what are you selling? And I'm like, I'm not selling anything. And he was like, oh, so he asked me what Abundance Farm is about. And I was like, well, we provide free CSA shares to BIPOC. And he was just like, I'm not following. I'm like, well, I grow food for black people, people of color, indigenous folks. And he's like, okay. And then he walked away and he told somebody, yeah, she's not selling me any vegetables because I'm not black.
Oh, wow.
And like not necessarily took that as a challenge. I just thought it was just so funny, you know, because it's like still you would look at it as if like I don't. It's not even about the money, but you'll still attach that to anything, you know. I don't know. It was funny though.
So he misunderstood.
Oh, for sure.
He misunderstood.
For sure.
Wow. And when you do like farmers, so you do a CSA. I think I've seen you post it up at Van Buren, right?
Yeah, Greg's house.
The pickup. Yeah, Greg.
Shout out to Greg. You the man.
We love you, Greg.
For real.
So you do your CSA pickups, but I know you also have a rotating booth at the farmers market, right?
Yeah.
So do you do CSA pickups there, or like it's kind of do you sell some stuff to like raise funds to keep what's the word I'm looking for, supplement the free CSAs?
So we do sell some things at the Abundance Farm, well, at the market rather. I tried to do the CSA there as like a trial, see if that would work out. But a lot of people that I serve are in Midtown Kingston, and they don't get up to the market. So it was just better to set up on Van Buren to do that.
Right.
But yeah, we do sell some stuff at the like specifically we have a market garden that just has a few items to be able to sell at the market. But there's also like really cool volunteers, well, farms that volunteer produce that I could come pick and sell at the market, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, like, so you grow. Abundance Farms is collectively made up in like different spaces all throughout, like, right? Like right now we're in Rosendale at this beautiful place. But I know I visited you at Liberty Street Garden too. So like, how many different spaces do you grow at right now?
Like 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
And mostly Kingston? What's the furthest out one?
Yeah, most of them are Kingston. Like outside of Kingston is Hurley, Rosendale, and High Falls.
Okay. So High Falls is probably the furthest one, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like Hurley isn't that bad. But High Falls, yeah. But High Falls specifically is the market garden.
Okay.
So it's like not really always just kind of worried about that. And there's a friend over there that looks after that for me, which is pretty dope.
And what was your process like getting, like, just circling back to when you had this idea, like, you want to grow food for free for BIPOC folks, but, like, not having acres and acres of land of your own, right?
Right.
So how did you acquire spaces? Like, how did you, yeah, I guess I'm just curious how you acquired spaces to be able to...
Honestly, it's almost as if they came to me. I mean, people were like, hey, like a friend of mine, she was like, oh, this lady emailed Rise Up, like, hey, I'm looking for a black farmer if they wanted to use some land to grow, and they pointed her in my direction.
No
Took
way.
off from there. These folks here are really good folks, and they offered up their property. Then you got Liberty Street Garden, which is like a community space.
Yeah.
So she'd have reached out, and I'm like, yes, of course. I'd be honored. And then like Palm Street Farm is another community garden. I just grow onions over there, but it can be used by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of like it just comes, you know. And then like KLT, the Kingston Land Trust, I grow out of 2 spaces through there, through that program.
The land matching program, right?
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'm so like wowed by you know, it's called Abundance Farms, and so just hearing your story, like having this idea and it like in the middle of the pandemic, mind you, having it all like kind of birth so much like I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, it's insane. I mean, think about it. Last season, I was only growing out of 1 space.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And it was cool. I feel like it was just a learning experience. Food came from it. We ate it. But I just feel like if you go after what you want, like, just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Manifest it. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, just still going. Like, next year, I'm hoping to have just 1 space, maybe an acre and a half. And we grow everything there, be able to process it, store it there, where it's just much easier versus like running around.
Mm-hmm.
But that's next year though.
Yeah, big things happening. That'll be really cool for you to have like a larger space in one spot. When you, for your CSA, what would you call them? Like sign up, like recipients, your CSA recipients?
Yeah.
Can some of them not believe that like it's free? Or I guess I'm also curious like how you get the word out to them that they can get free produce.
I feel like social media is the best way, and then there's also like word of mouth, or like I don't know, like people. I feel like a lot of people are surprised when I'll be like, oh, it's free. Like there's a lot of like, especially like BIPOC. Like even when I'm at the market and I'm set up, whatever I'm selling. But if somebody comes up and they're BIPOC and they're interested in purchasing something, I give it to them. They was like, how much owe you? I'm like, oh, you're good. They're like, what? Looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, no, you're good. This is what Abundant Farm is about, you know? I mean, just taking care of BIPOC.
Yeah.
You know?
And for, like, I don't know how to say this, but, like, it can be challenging for people that are of lower income to, like, access fresh foods and stuff. So the fact that you, like, go out of your way to make it free and also like so close to home, right? Like setting up in Midtown and stuff is really, really dope. I had another question. Okay. What has your experience been like growing food in Kingston?
My experience growing food in Kingston, I just feel like I appreciate Kingston. I appreciate the people of Kingston only because, like, I mean, I've been here a couple years now, but this is probably the most, like, stable I've been in my life. And then I got my kid, and, like, it's a community. Like, it really is people that come together and tackle things together, and I respect it. But, like, there's also people in this community that are just, like, foreign to that or just not understanding, like, this is how we want to get down or how we should get down. Like, there's still selfish people out there. But, like, there's some spaces, or not even just some spaces, like, I've been, people have threatened to call the cops on me, trying to access places that I grow out of.
Wow.
And I think that's super whack, because it's like, you see what I'm doing. Like, my thing is like, I can't even ask what are you really mad at, because realistically, you're mad at yourself. Like, there's nothing outside of you that's mad at me, because you don't even know me, you know? But as far as that though, like, I mean, I pay no mind, still get the job done. But if we're talking about any type of challenge, that's a big challenge for me because it's still like, I wouldn't even say it's a big challenge. I mean, the devil is always working, and it just lets me know I'm doing something right, and I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. Nothing's gonna stop that. But other than that, though, I like growing food in Kingston. Especially, like, we take a lot of measures to make sure we're growing safely. Because, you know, there is the fact that Midtown, at least Midtown, Kingston, 80% of it is, like, lead.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't want to hurt anybody while we're doing this. So, like, with the sheep mulching or raised beds, we're pretty careful, mindful of what can come from it. But
that's good to know, actually, for people in Kingston who maybe haven't started growing but want to grow, that lead is something to be mindful of.
Oh, definitely.
So how do you safely grow, like, how do you prevent the lead from, or just lead being a danger to your crops and what you're eating?
I would say get the soil test. Definitely do soil tests. But then there's raised beds you can do. I mean, and I say sheet mulch, but it's like,
what's sheet mulch? I never heard of that before.
Alright, so this garden, for instance, we sheet mulched this year. And like what I did was lay down a bunch of cardboard, and then I threw a bunch of compost on top.
Okay.
And then like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And then like, so like at the end of this season, I'm gonna like put some more paper down. I'm probably gonna go around like a bunch of bags of leaves. I'm just gonna put as much organic matter on top as I possibly can, drop some straw down, and just let it do its thing until next season. I mean, because it's basically like a way to build your soil up and make soil.
Yeah,
you know?
recycling all the organic matter, right?
Right.
That's so cool. And we'll take a little tour of the farm, right? If that's cool with you, Inno?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, in a little while we'll take a walk around, see what Inno's growing. It looks beautiful from here, so I can't wait to get it on camera.
It's crazy back there. That squash is going wild.
Yeah, I mean, I see like cabbage.
Yeah.
That's the cabbage you were telling me about, right?
Yeah, we got some cabbage.
So beautiful.
Some
Oh my
broccoli over
gosh.
there, some collards, Swiss, celery, tomatoes. Yeah.
It's amazing. What's the most rewarding thing about being a farmer?
The most rewarding thing about being a farmer, the freedom. Like the freedom. I mean, this is a crazy world we live in, you know, systems that are built to keep people stagnant. And I just can't like allow that. Like, it was already my actions in the past that allowed me, or that didn't allow me to grow. But not only is this like not only does this build character within you, but you're also, I guess if you're doing it the way that I'm doing, you're building so much in others. And I think the most important thing is trust. You know, that trust, support, the relationships, and healthy relationships based around food.
Because it's more than just food that you're building and serving. Like, you're creating community.
Yeah.
And I wanted to actually ask you about that too. Like, so you're one farmer, right? And you're all these different places. Have you been able to get like help and support from the community to further this?
Definitely. I mean, like, people show up, come out. Like, we do plant parties. Like today, there was a couple people here helping out with weeding.
Wow.
I mean, show up, you know. And I mean, and I'm hoping that I'm showing up for them the same way. Like, and whatever they need. Like, if I got it, they got it. But I'm definitely grateful. Definitely. People that don't even like farm, you know, or garden.
Yeah.
And now they're like, yeah,
They want to come out and support.
Yeah.
I love to see that.
Appreciate it.
And it's like, I was kind of stumbling on this earlier, trying to like get out what I'm trying to say, but like, aside from just feeding people and building community, like, just really exhibiting abundance in so many different ways, like, around this project. So it's so cool. It's really cool. That must have been like a good feeling, like an overwhelming feeling of support to be so well received.
Always
celebrated.
That's what it is, being well received. Because people don't have to accept it. They do. I think that's the best part about it, being open.
Yeah.
You know.
Right, because it takes a lot in this, this current society and world we live in. It really is kind of difficult to shift from that like scarcity, worrying about me, myself, and what's mine, to abundance and accepting that there is more than enough of everything for all of us. Right. It's like you have to flip that switch in your mind, and then it becomes the reality.
Right. Acceptance.
Yeah.
Like you deserve it too.
Mm-hmm.
So you gonna have it.
We all do.
Yeah.
What are the impacts of being a farmer, or what have been the impacts of like farming, being a farmer on your diet and lifestyle compared to pre-farm life?
I don't know, like I've never been picky either. And like I was raised by my grandma, so like we was always eating something. I mean, I'm eating green beans out the can. And like I mean can, like they used to can a lot of vegetables down south and send them up. So that, corn, potatoes, everything. I mean, I've never been picky. I think it's crazy though, because a lot of the food I grow, like I'm not eating it until everybody else eat it. And like not because I don't know, I just feed myself last. You know, or like may take home a bunch of some Swiss tonight maybe so I could fry it up. But I don't know, I feel like in the summer months we lose weight and in the winter we gain it back. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think most of us feel that, right?
Right. But it's like you get right during the summer, but off season it's time to just chill, eat, get a little chunky. I don't know.
Are you like more active now than you were before like farming was introduced to your life?
Nah, dude. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit more active with my 2-year-old now, but I don't know. I've always just been like even before farming, like outside, just doing the most. Like hiking was something I really used to enjoy. I mean, I still love it. I just don't really have enough time to do it anymore. But I just love always being outside from a kid.
So you always felt like a connection to the land and to nature?
Yeah, without even knowing it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What is it like being a mom and a farmer?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's dope. I mean, Soul is crazy. He's crazy. And he doesn't really fancy the farm like that yet. Like, I think it's really under his own time. Like, some days he's like, yeah. And the other days he's like, no, I'm ready to go. Let's go to the park. Let's do something. Let's go on the slide. And, like, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm just, like, maybe ignoring his needs too much as far as, like, him needing that, like, outlet of the park, you know, but when we go home, we play. And I feel like, I don't know, he's 2. He's very demanding. He wants what he wants, and I respect it. But, he's only 2, and he doesn't understand yet that, like, what he sees me doing is pure beneficial. But I feel like as he grows older, he'll accept it more. Because it's a skill that you can't lose, you know?
Right.
And he's extremely helpful. Like, he wants to get the weed whacker out.
Aww.
Like, he loves the hori-hori, so if he could cut anything with that, he's so down.
Okay, what is that for people like me who don't know what that is?
The hori-hori?
Yeah.
It's just tools like a foot long. The blade measures like 6 inches.
Okay.
You could dig with it, you could cut with it. Actually a pretty good tool to have if you're into like gardening or farming.
Is that the thing you gave me when I was at the Liberty Street garden? I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Do you remember that?
Was it long or was it shaped like a scythe, a baby scythe?
No, it was long, I think. It was like long and it had a handle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this.
Yeah, those things are lovely though. Lovely. Lovely to feel.
So do you, like, is there things you want to instill in him related to, like, growing food, or, like, do you think you'll teach him how to grow food, too, when he's, maybe a year or 2 older?
I feel like I want to instill in him by growing his own food, the power that he actually possesses. You know, and it's not even, like, right here in New York, like, having access to land through other people is dope. And like we grow food, but it's like realistically in the future I'm hoping that we grow food, we grow like trees, like fruit trees. We do fibers, not only to just feed ourselves but to make our own clothes, build our own houses, or do what we need to do to be sustainable, but also be sufficient enough, like self-sufficient enough to take care of ourselves, and yeah, and just building him up, like, because he could be whatever he wants to be, you know. And it's so crazy how the constraints of this world will hold us down from doing what we like feel like we should be doing. But hey, I've got to take care of this. You know, I just don't want him to ever worry. I don't want him to ever just feel like he's not enough, or that like he can't, because he can. And like through farming, I mean, you can learn. There's just so much you can learn from it, because when I learned farming, it was used as a discipline tactic, you know, and cool, but it was never meant for me to fall in love with it. You know, it was never meant for me to see that as an escape. So that was dope, and I think it's the best part of it, because you can learn anything you want from doing it.
You reminded me of a scripture. I feel like it's like, what the devil meant for evil, God turned for good. So this is like, I don't know. I just heard that one before, but this is like proof of that scripture.
That's a fact.
I love that.
That's a fact.
And so I wish he was here right now. He was a little while ago, but he took a break to go to the park. Well-deserved break, right?
Long deserved.
Yeah.
He was over it.
But he just like lights up any person he comes in contact with. Like, I can't not smile when I see Soul. He's so awesome.
He's so definitely a game changer.
I'm always getting spam calls. I hate oh my gosh. Back to business. What's something that you dream of growing?
Something that I dream of growing. But honestly though, like anything that could be used like as a fiber. Like I actually was watching this video the other day, and it was like talking about how like banana trees are the most like after you get the fruit, you cut down the tree and you start all over again. It's just being wasted. So much of it is being wasted.
Really?
And like I don't know what country it was, but they figured out how they could turn the banana tree into fiber to like make clothes and stuff.
Wow.
So I can't wait to grow a banana tree. Honestly, a couple of them to be able to do so. Because I mean, it can't get better than that.
No, I mean like one of the best fruits, and then you can use the rest of the plant for clothes, for linen, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know, really, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about that process, but I feel like in order to be like self-sufficient and self-sustainable, that is something that like more people should know about, right? But
that's a fact. Like I told myself last year that in 5 years I hope to like be truly living like a minimalist lifestyle. So we headed there.
Definitely on the way.
Definitely.
I love that. I had no idea that like that you had dreams of like also growing to produce more than just food.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, why not? I guess my thing with that is I just don't want to continue to be a consumer. Like I don't dream of labor. You know, I don't dream of working for the next man. I don't think of. It's just too many. We just been lied to for so long. You know, especially even by those people we care about the most, because they were lied to. You know, or don't even know how to accept the truth. And I'm just over just trying to be a part of society because this is the way to be, you know, or this is the way to go. Like we should. It's BS.
Because this is what we've been shown, right?
Right.
By, like the people before us.
Right. Like go to college, or just find you a good job. Break your back for this person for years to still never just be okay, or just I'm just not buying this they're selling.
Right.
I'm over it.
And then when you're 65, then you can finally live life, right? Like,
right. Retire.
Yeah.
And do what you want, but still within limits. Come on. Just whack.
Yeah, I believe we were here for more than that. Like, we were put here for way more than that.
Way more than that. To make it greater for each other, you know, not hard on each other. But it's easy.
Yeah. But this is where change happens, you know. I feel like change comes from real change happens within. So it has to start with us. Like you starts with you and me, and the next person, planting those seeds.
That's right.
Cause
especially, I'm sorry.
No, my bad. Go ahead.
Just say, especially in them babies too. You know, like they coming after us, so they're either gonna continue to be us or just be greater than it, be above it.
Yeah. No, I was saying that, you know, sometimes I share ideas with people in my family or my parents, and I notice the like scarcity of like, oh, well, just make sure you can pay your bills, and it's like, stop killing my dreams.
Right.
like I'm here for more than that.
Bills. Even in a pandemic, man. Gotta worry.
Do you have any favorite veggies that you now love that you didn't always like since growing food?
I never knew what Swiss chard was, but it's amazing. Like as a salad or sauteing it up, if you saute it, kind of like give you collard green vibes. But no, it took as long to cook. But I love Swiss chard right now. Kale's super good, but it's also too like I'm black. Growing up, we didn't have kale in the house. We didn't have Swiss chard in the house. We had collard greens or cabbage, you know. But like squash, butternut squash is so fucking good, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so good. Butternut squash is so good. Like last season, I roasted it and threw some pepper jack cheese on top.
Ooh,
my
that
goodness,
sounds so good.
It's so good. It's so good. There's a bunch. I mean, the Hokkaido turnips, white Japanese ones.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, but you know what? This is kind of looks like a purple top though. I don't know. Dre just found that.
It's massive.
Yeah. Those are good.
What do you like to do with those?
With these?
Yeah.
Honestly, my son and I, we just chew on them. Just
raw?
eat them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, I grew up, like, the Hokkaidos, like, specifically the white ones, right? Because, like, I never really seen those in the fridge. But my grandma and them used to put those in the collard greens. For turnip greens. But, we just eat them.
That sounds so good.
The greens go in the salad or saute them up, some Swiss or something. But,
so you use the whole plant again, right? Like greens to, what, can you eat the stems too, if you wanted to?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Like, honestly, though, these, so this batch of the turnips, we were just clearing that bed out because they all bolted. And, so this is, like, probably the most beautiful one that came out of it. I've never really eaten or seen that it had a stalk. May have come from the bolting, but, sorry.
That's okay.
May have come from the bolting of it, but, usually it's just, like, you know what a radish look like, or a beet.
Yeah.
And, like, how those green come from the top.
Yeah.
That's usually how it looks, too. And, yeah, eat all that.
That's
Kill it.
really cool. Yeah. I think a lot of people, like me, who don't have, like, super extensive knowledge of growing food, I probably wouldn't eat the tops.
Throw it away, right?
Yeah, I probably
Nah, it's good. It's kind of spicy if you're into it. It's kind of like a mustard green.
Okay. Oh, mustard greens are, I've had those, and they are spicy.
Super good.
They're good, though. So you said Swiss chard, right? Since you started growing it, you love it. Kale. Anything else?
That butternut squash.
Butternut squash.
Yes. Like, that's a different type of vibe right there. Like, kind of like sweet potatoes, but, like, smoother, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's so good.
Yeah, butternut is... I put it in, like, a vegan mac and cheese. Butternut mac and cheese. Have you tried it?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it for you. You're gonna have to try it.
Butternut mac and cheese?
So, I got you. I'm gonna make it for you.
That's, like, unbelievable.
It's next level. It's so good.
What?
If you like mac and cheese, you'll definitely like butternut mac and cheese.
Is there cheese in it?
No, I make it vegan. Yeah. Make it creamy with like cashews and nutritional yeast, seasoning and all that. I'll make it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Definitely want you to try that.
Yes, that sounds good though. Butternut mac and cheese. Maybe I'm just hungry though.
What'd you say?
So maybe I'm just a little hungry.
Probably a little bit of that too.
Right.
What time are we at? 4:35. 4:35. Okay. Yeah, a couple more minutes, and we should maybe take a walk around the garden. I had a question here, and it was, what advice would you give to somebody who's like wants to grow their own food?
Advice. I guess depending on how you want to do it, like we're just going to try to go straight into the ground, test your soil. Like, I know if you're in this area, CCE, Cornell Cooperative Extension, you could go through them and get the probe. It's like, they hold, like, you give them, like, an $80 check, whatever. They won't cash it, just if you don't bring the probe back. And I borrowed their probe, like, 2 months ago, and I just brought it back the other day. So they didn't charge me, but they're good folks. But, they'll give you the probe, and you just go around different spots, pull up some soil, and then send it out to the lab. And you can do it as extensively as you want to, too. Like, go into depth to see exactly what type of minerals are in the soil, what you need, like, or what you need to amend with, or whatever. And I just say, like, or maybe you could do a raised bed. Raised bed are really good. Raised beds are really good. But just go about it. I mean, I'm still learning every day. Every day I'm still learning. At least, like, because, I mean, it's just different when you actually get to see it go from seed to, like, edible.
To harvest.
You know? Yeah. So it's like, just, if you want to do it, do it. Like, don't let nothing hold you back. And if, like, you don't want to go for the soil test, do a raised bed. And with the raised bed system, too, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, made of wood or anything. You can literally just, like, I'm thinking about the sheet mulching approach I did. Just pick out somewhere in your yard and start just, make, like, a fake compost pile. Put on some paper, drop down some, like, I wouldn't say compost if you want to get compost, but, like, make that, like, area where you start throwing, like, old food scraps. And, like, just keep turning it. Next season, you'll be able to plant right into that.
Wow. Do you compost too?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of compost.
Have you seen, like, from I know there's different ways, different levels of composting, right? Like, you can do the pile in your backyard and stuff, but they also have commercial compost, which have a higher, like, a faster turnover rate. Have you been able to see like your scraps go from scraps to usable compost?
Black soil?
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
wow.
So last season, I was like, you know, I'm gonna do it. And I did it in a bucket. Put some holes in the bucket, and I, like a regular bin, like a bin you have at your house. And, I actually grew my potatoes in that soil.
Wow.
And I was actually surprised because it decomposed, like, within 30 days. Like, it was just super good. Like, yeah, it was like a month. With some good soil, I dumped it in some tires, started my potatoes.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and it works.
I would feel like I could run the world if I could
You can.
make my own compost.
You do. Listen, like, because what it is with compost, like, those some of those, like, commercial ones, or, like, the ones you can buy at the store.
Yeah, those.
Just turning it.
Do you do that yourself too? Like, you have to go back to your pile, right, of scraps, and you have to, like, somehow
turn it. Get you a fork or something, like a shovel. Just what you want to do is, like, hide the food. Just bury the food in the dirt that's already there. I mean, you want to start with some dirt, food scraps, and add water every time you're doing it. Or, like, if it rains, it's pretty dope. But just turn it. Depending on how big your pile is, it could be heavy. It can hurt a little bit, but you'll get better at it. Arms will get right. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But it's good stuff, though.
Yeah. That's really, really dope. Let me check and see if anybody asked any questions.
I think they're just listening.
Yeah. I'll check the Facebook really quick. So I don't see anything. Does anybody have any questions for Inno while I'm checking? Should we take a stroll around
Yeah, if you want
and take a look and see what Inno's growing out here? I'll bring this one too. I wonder if I can flip the camera. I don't think so.
You want me to hold one?
Yeah, you want to hold this one that you can see, and I'll try to hold this one.
Definitely. So, right here we got some broccoli. It's coming. Okay. Some broccoli. Got some cabbages we've been harvesting from. Hoping to take the rest of these out by the end of the week, though. Yeah, we just said about, got some tomatoes back up here. behind the tomatoes, it's like corn, squash, and beans. It's a little bit of Swiss, a little bit of celery. It's a lot of greens in here. Swiss, our collard greens. And this is our monster squash that's like taking off. Oh wow, look at this little baby fruit though. Yeah.
This is zucchini or some kind of squash. Right?
Yeah, this is butternut.
Wow.
Planted some Waltham butternut.
This is a fall crop, right? So it'll be ready this fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least about like start probably harvesting in August, probably September. Let it cure out for a couple weeks.
What does that mean? I was gonna say it probably has to cure, right? But does that mean like it dries out a little bit?
You're
or?
basically like just letting it sweeten up.
Okay.
Like with garlic, letting it cure is just basically letting that the taste of it just settle in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's, I don't know. Like I've grown like another type of crop that the curing process basically like heightens the medicinal properties of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, it's just beneficial. Got some eggplant. I've got a like this is growing so well. I think I'm gonna get something like stake it up a little bit.
Little baby butternut squash.
Yeah.
How cute is that?
Mm. Bro, here's something.
Okay.
I think it's that pump. Probably turn it off. But I'm gonna go. You're free to walk around for a minute. I just wanna.
Okay.
I think it was that pump. Turn it off.
Oh, you're right. Okay. This looks like Brussels sprouts or something like that. This is so nice.
That's amazing.
Inno, are these over here on the left broccoli or collards?
This right here is broccoli.
Broccoli?
Yes, and actually, because you can see if you walk down, like the heads are. I don't know if they're like.
Oh yeah, look, here's one. Oh, little baby.
Like coming, but I'm also feeling like
It looks like Romanesco because it's so light.
Romanesco.
Yeah, Romanesco is like that pointy looking, it's like a cross between cauliflower and broccoli. That's how I would describe it.
It's good to know.
I've never eaten it
I
though.
actually got these seed seedlings were donated, and like I knew there was broccoli, but I didn't find out like exactly which variety. Because even here, like this is giving me cauliflower vibes because how it just wraps itself with the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's funny you say like a cross between broccoli and cauliflower.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like both. Well, do you want to hold? Well, I don't know how to. It feels like we're getting rained on a little bit, or it's about to start raining. I feel droplets on me.
Great.
Supposed to.
I do.
But thank you guys for tuning in on our deep dive with Inno. This has been so fun, so cool chatting with you and looking at all this amazing food she's growing. I can't wait to get my hands on that cabbage.
Hey, that's awesome. You said 2 weeks though?
Yeah, in another week.
No, okay.
But thank you so much, Inno.
Yeah, thank
I'm gonna
you.
end this live. Thank you guys for chatting with us. Later. Finish.